Aberdeen.Hindu temple. This is the morning meditation session, Sunday morning meditation session. Today, I just wanted to speak about love. The energy that gels everything together. The energy that makes everything worthwhile. I remember one Christmas a long time ago. I was working in hospital, and after the hospital celebrations, we were invited to the home of one of our registrars, and he said, "Astrid, come, I'll show you something." And he took me upstairs, and he opened the door of his children's bedroom, and he did let me have a look inside, and then he said, "You know, this is why I do everything that I do." So very much, we all do things just because of the love that we want to share and we want to give with others. So, what is love? There are different types of love. Love from hearts. We depict the hearts in red, in dark red. And so the question is like, it means that there is an emotion, there's a feeling. And I have come to understand that a feeling is really that what gives us an experience. And once we have the feeling of something, then we're able to reproduce it again and again and again. I remember once I was skiing down a mountain, and all of a sudden I had the feeling of how I had to position my body. And once I knew that, I could reproduce this all again and again and again. So a feeling is something that gives us the essence, the experience of what we have done. For example, success. We might measure success in many, many different ways, and how much money we get, or how much fame, or how good we were in writing a paper, or whatever. But it is also a feeling. And when it becomes a feeling, then it becomes something that becomes valuable in our life and that we can reproduce again and again and again. So again, soul consciousness is a feeling. It's a feeling that takes us to the experience. So to get to that feeling, I have to experience it again and again and again. And then after some time, it becomes natural. It becomes my way or my nature. So about love is something, again, it's a feeling that can become an emotion. But this feeling that we have experienced again and again and again. And as we experience it again and again and again, it becomes something that gives us the foundation of our life, gives us the support in our life that will allow us to have courage, that will allow us to have determination, because we know where we are going and we know what we're getting to. So in a way, love is a gelling essence, experience, a feeling that actually brings everything in our life together. And when love is there, then we feel strong, then we feel empowered, then we trust, then we can do anything. We can move mountains. Nothing is too difficult. We have a bounty of energy and trust and courage. And so love is given from the heart. And the heart has got many, many cells that are like brain cells. They can remember that experience. So that's where somebody died of heartache comes from, because they remembered that experience, and that was very, very hurtful. So again, it gives us the opportunity that we can actually choose whether our actions are going to be ones that are going to bring benefit, or are they going to be actions that are going to be connected with hurting and pain and sadness and frustration. It is our choice. And so in life, there are many types of love. The love of a parent, the love of a child, the love of a friend, the love of a companion in life. And there is also, these are types of loves that are connected with the lives that we live. But there is also very subtle sort of love, which is the love of the divine. And today we were speaking about the Festival of Holi, which is not now. I know it's around March time. But it's when you get colored, and when you get colored with the color of God's love, when you get colored by the color of God's virtues, God's vision, God's actions. And so to become colored means to become the embodiment of. And so on the path and on the aim of really bringing divinity or beauty into your life, it is very important to be colored by the color of the divine, whichever way you experience God to be. And I remember how we celebrated Holi, and they had these big syringes, and these syringes were filled with saffron-colored sort of water, and we were all sprayed by it. And it was quite a subtle color, very, very subtle, washed out easily. And but it meant that even God's love and God's support is very subtle. And to be able to experience God's love and God's support, God's guidance, I have to become very subtle. We call that to become soul conscious, to go inside and to find that place of peace, that place of peace and happiness and purity and wisdom and love, and to really sit still, and sitting still and then going deeper and feeling into what is there inside. And at the same time, allow Baba's light to reach really the depth of where we are and who we are. And really to feel that happiness that comes from that connection, that happiness that comes from that relationship that we then experience with the Supreme. And so let's try and have an experience of that. I'm going to be reading out some blessings that are related to that. But so first of all, I want you to find a place of stillness and quietness inside. It doesn't matter what's happening around you, but just allow yourself to become very still. Still in your physical form, but also still inside, in who you are, still in your soul. And you can do that by becoming very quiet first, but then also by slowing down your thoughts. The next step is to focus and to concentrate and to become aware of who you are. And you are a soul, your eternal being, your being of light. You have at this moment an experience in the body, but you've had previous experiences in other realities, in other situations, in other lives. And all these lives are connected. And the gel between these lives has been the love of the divine. And who is the divine? Who is the supreme? If we are souls, and we are subtle when we are souls, then the supreme is very subtle, because he's the father, the mother, the beloved of all of us. And he teaches us, he allows us to learn, to become complete and to become beautiful. So relax and let God's love, the love of the divine, the love of the supreme, just shine on you, to fill your soul, to fill your love, your heart, and make you experience your complete stage. Because through God's love, you do learn the language of the heart. And this will enable you to speak with sincerity and to listen with compassion. And with that, all relationships, the relationship with the self, but also the relationship with others, will be healed, will be beautiful. Because through the experience of God's love, you develop the ability to understand what a soul wants. And you will have the wisdom to respond to what the soul needs. There will be no questions. There will be no questions of why and what and when, but there will be absolute peace and love and satisfaction, the feeling of success of one's life. Because there's no need of all the material wealth and goodness, but what is needed is that love that makes life valuable and enjoyable. God loves, restores an inner wisdom that recognizes a promise to the self to let go without giving up. You let go of your desires and you get filled with unlimited treasures. God loves guides you to direct the feeling in your heart towards 3 simple tasks: to uplift, to be merciful, and to forgive. Now, to love, you have to forgive. Initially, forgive yourself, but also forgive others. To be tolerant and merciful and loving and caring, and thereby uplift others and allow them to experience and to have that opportunity to experience God's love. It is something subtle, and so we must become very peaceful and quiet to listen inside. In God's love, your inner beauty blossoms with the awareness of how loving, loved, and lovable you are. Experience God's love just coming onto you and filling you with a loving energy, so that any discomfort, any question, any tension just melts away. Because love, God's love, is powerful. And by connecting with God's love, you become strong and courageous, very special, very loving, very powerful. God's love creates within you a level of compassion that can nurture the seed of what is right and transform the root of what is wrong. God's love gives you the power to understand and to experience what is right and what is wrong. God's love gives you the certainty of what is right. So never underestimate the power of God's love. God's love sparks within you an overflowing of virtues, encouraging positive outcomes and elevated solutions to take root wherever you go. God is your eternal companion. He will look after you. He will make sure that you receive everything you need. He will take care. He will protect. And He will also teach you and show you the way of what to do, when to do, and how to do. God's love awakens with you genuine feelings of kindness that find expression in quiet acts of benevolence. Those who are connected with the Supreme develop the sanskars or the personality traits that are divine. They become like angels. They become sweet and kind and caring peaceful and tranquil. They enable others to develop and to become good, to become holy, to become divine. Means to become good, to become a force of goodness in this world, transformed in the light of God's love. You develop a depth of contentment in which friendships flourish, pure thoughts take root, and no passions rule. When we are devout, when we are without God's love and support, we start struggling and we start fighting for everything because we lack and because we experience alone. Whereas when we are filled with God's love, our hearts have the sweet sound of truth and enables us to be in tune with our purpose while harmonizing with others. So God's love, that subtle love that can be found when we go into that stillness inside, is a love that is much greater than anything any human can do. And therefore God is a human being. He already has not the fullness, not the power that the divine has, because the divine is complete and powerful and doesn't lack anything. Whereas a human being, by definition, will have one thing or the other. So I'm going to play a meditation commentary just now. So just relax and follow the words. Try not to think about other things. Give yourself this time and experience God's love. Just become still. Open up like a flower. To take you on a pilgrim of peace. Mind many closer to your death. God has come. Remember, nation holds secret. But oh, through spiritual sweetness and humility, taking everyone beyond through your eyes. One of kindness, of you play the hero on the stage of this world. Each second, each thought, word, action are more valuable than diamonds. Within this beautiful life of renunciation, iron chains break. Golden feelings begin. third eye is clean, completely still, focused on one. Intoxications in your eyes, your divine eye, your hand in mine, the destination close, merged in love. Merged in love. To be merged in love means to be in yoga. And to be in yoga means that I become aware of I, the soul, first, detach myself from my body while still in the body, and I connect with the divine. Now, where is the divine? The divine is in a world that is beyond matter. And in this world beyond matter, it's a place that we call nirvana or parandam or the soul world. It's a place where there is just the energy of that pure divine being. That is the love, the loving gel that gives support to everything that we do. And so to be connected with the divine means to have that subtle thread between your soul and the divine soul, the supreme being, the most beautiful, the most beloved. And then automatically everything else just becomes good. Everything else is impregnated by that energy, by that power. And so take a nice deep breath and relax. As you breathe out, you're loved by God. You're a very special soul. God loves you. God appreciates you. And you're one of the most elevated souls. And your job is to go out into the world and through your eyes share that love. Let your hands be gentle and kind, and your heart speak words of truth and wisdom and love, and create an atmosphere of beauty all around you. Life is a time to be lived and to be experienced with joy and with intoxication. And when we take ourselves out of the material world and we allow ourselves to go into that space of divinity, of quietness, of love, of pure love, cleanliness, and happiness, life is valuable. So go out today and share and send vibrations of love and good wishes to the world. Om Shanti.